Well, welcome back to a third segment of the Law Show brought to you by Kerrigan Estes, Rankin, McLeod, and Thompson. I'm Randy Thompson. I'm the last name in the firm. I'm 60 years old. I am the youngest member of the firm. We don't have associates. It's just the five of us in the name. And so if one of us agree to represent you, it will be one of us representing you. In this segment, I'm going to talk about the very exciting topic of car insurance. We get a lot of calls about car insurance and why is it working this way and why does this have to apply and what is this Florida no fault stuff that goes on in these car accident cases. So I just want to take a brief time out of this show today and give you kind of an overview of Florida's automobile insurance law. So for those of you who like statutes and you care to look it up on your own and do all the research on yourself or for yourself, you can go to Florida Statute 627.736. That will list out all of the requirements that Florida has for automobile insurance, and it isn't that much. In Florida, there are only two types of insurance coverage you must buy. One is called personal injury protection. That pays up to $10,000 of your medical expenses related to a car accident, regardless of who caused the accident. That's no fault. And you must also carry property damage liability coverage. That's the insurance coverage required by the state of Florida for you to carry in case you damage somebody else's property. You're responsible for damaging another car, for running over a mailbox, for running over a fire hydrant. So in the state of Florida, the only two types of insurance you must carry are property damage liability, at least $10,000 of it, and personal injury protection, at least $10,000 of it. Now, a lot of people go in and they go to these discount insurance agent shops and they say, look, I want to be legal. I want to have everything I'm required to have by law, but cut me a break. Give me some slack here. Make it as cheap as you can. And so the agent sells them the two required pieces of insurance they're supposed to have: property damage liability and personal injury protection. And the customer walks out thinking, I got full coverage. I got everything I need. But nothing could be further from the truth. So if you only have those two insurance coverages on your policy, what don't you have? What don't you have? Well, the most important thing you don't have is any bodily injury liability coverage. Bodily injury liability coverage is the coverage you buy to protect yourself in case you cause an injury to another person or a group of people. In other words, if you're not paying attention and you run through a red light and you hit a car, you're required by Florida law to have $10,000 to fix the car, but you're not required by Florida to have any insurance to fix the individual that you hurt. Well, so what if you don't have any bodily injury liability? Well, you could be sued personally, and your personal assets could be garnished to pay the debts of those who you've injured. So bodily injury liability coverage, although not required by the state of Florida, is a very important piece of insurance coverage to carry. And you should carry as much limits as you can afford. You can have a 10-20 policy, a 100-300 policy, 500 million policy, $1 million policy. The amount of coverage that you choose to buy under bodily injury liability is in large part dependent on the liquid assets that you have that someone could get to if they got a judgment against you for your negligent operation of your automobile. Okay, well, what else don't you have if you've only got the bare minimum coverage, which is property damage liability and personal injury protection? You don't have any uninsured motorist coverage. And that coverage is critical in our thinking. In lawyers who represent people in car accident cases, we all tell our clients, and we ourselves carry uninsured motorist coverage. Excuse me, because that's going to pay you in case somebody else causes the accident and leaves you with hospital bills, unpaid lost wages, needs to repair and refurbish your home to make it handicap accessible because now after the accident you're left in a wheelchair. Pay you to help bring someone in to cover your home health care needs and extra needs you may have while you're recuperating from the automobile accident. Uninsured motorist coverage is the coverage you buy to protect you and your family and the occupants of your car in case an accident happens and the person who caused it doesn't have any bodily injury liability. Remember, they don't have to in Florida, or they don't have enough to pay for all of your damages and expenses. So we say that uninsured motorist coverage is a critical piece of your auto insurance coverage. While not required by Florida law, is certainly very helpful and very useful. In all of those coverages I just talked about, in all of those that I just mentioned to you, property damage liability, coverage that pays if you damage somebody else's property, personal injury protection, pays your medical bills, the occupants of your vehicle if they don't own their own vehicle. You have to have that. Uninsured motorist coverage, bodily injury liability. None of those coverages depend on how old or new your car is or what kind of condition it's in, what kind of shape it's in. So I oftentimes hear callers say to me, well, no, I didn't get uninsured motorist coverage on it because it was such an old car. But that doesn't matter. I didn't get bodily injury liability coverage on it because it was such an old car. Those are coverages that pay for damages to human beings, either yourself in uninsured motorist coverage or to the person you injured. And it doesn't matter what kind of car you were driving when that occurred. Now, there are other types of automobile insurance that, do depend, I guess, on what year car you drive. For example, if you drive an older car and you might not want to carry as much comprehensive coverage or collision coverage on that vehicle, or you might want to increase the deductible on your policy. But all of those are individual factors, but the only time it matters what year your car is, how old it is, how new it is, the only time that matters is when you're looking at insurance coverage to fix the car, your car. Comprehensive coverage is like when the car gets flooded or when a tree limb falls on it from one of our hurricanes. Collision coverage is when you cause the accident in an automobile accident, you cause the accident and you damage your own car. And so comp and collision do, I think a lot of people make their decisions of how much coverage what deductible to have based on the year, make, and model of their vehicle, but that shouldn't play any part in your purchasing of insurance to protect other people if you make a mistake, or to protect you if other people make a mistake and cause the accident. And then there's some other insurance coverages, that rental and towing, that you can add on to your policy. But again, there really is nothing known as full coverage in the state of Florida, because you can have all types of options, all types of deductibles, all types of coverage limits. And so that is a basic overview of automobile insurance. So just to sum up, let's say you are walking down the side of the road and a truck comes by and the passenger side view mirror strikes you and knocks you to the ground, and let's say it breaks your left shoulder. And let's say the truck leaves the scene of the accident and you don't get a license number or tag number. Well, who's going to pay the first $10,000 of your medical bills? Your car insurance. Even though you're walking down the road, your personal injury protection that you're required to have in the state of Florida follows you wherever you go. And if you're hurt by an automobile, it's your car insurance that pays the first 10 of your medical bills. Okay, well, when that's gone, well, who's going to pay then? Well, if you have health insurance, your health insurance will start paying. Whether it's Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross Blue Shield, TRICARE, they'll start paying. Yeah, but wait a minute. I'm going to have a lot of discomfort and I'm going to have a lot of inconvenience. I'm going to have to bring in help to help me because I'm a single parent and I can't lift my child with my broken shoulder. That's one of the reasons why you would want uninsured motorist coverage on your own vehicle, because that uninsured motorist coverage would apply in the example I just gave you, because the vehicle hit you and left, and under the definitions of the insurance policy in Florida, that's an uninsured motorist. A hit and run vehicle that can't be found and located falls under that category. So that is a reason why you would say, okay, well, uninsured motorist coverage is really important, and I need to have it. When your car insurance pays its first $10,000 of the medical expenses, it doesn't have any right to get that money back. When your health insurance starts paying, if you get any money from the at-fault company or your insurance company, the health insurance is subrogated to that money, and they have to be paid a portion of what you recovered back. But that's some of Florida automobile insurance law. I hope I didn't bore you too much with all of that information. Look us up on the web, Kerrigan.com. You can find a great deal of information about us there. You can email us. I'm Randy.Thompson@Kerrigan.com. Or, of course, you can call our number and we'll be happy to speak to you. But I'm Randy Thompson, and in a few minutes after this commercial break, we'll be back.